All right, welcome to Bearing Up at Night. Wow, it's been a minute since I did one of these. July 18th, June 18th. Tonight's July 1st, so I know I missed last week. Right now, the fan is on me because I'm outside. It is hot, but I try to have the mic blocked by the computer screen. So we'll see if, excuse me, we'll see if I am totally blocked or if you can even hear me at all. It's a little bit interesting. This may be the worst idea ever, but we're about to find out. July 1st, we just went to fireworks show. We just took my little 3-year-old to a fireworks show, and she just had a ball, time of her life, and I absolutely enjoyed it. So much fun, as those things usually are. We weren't supposed to have her for any fireworks because it's not our weekend with her. But my wife just came home and was like, there's a bunch of cars parked in the school parking lot. Like, okay, let's go. And we're looking at those fireworks. But anyway, Bearing Up at Night, we're currently going through how do we become better encouragers? How do you maybe become an encourager at all? Maybe you're not an encourager, you're not an encourager, you want to be an encourager, or maybe you're just trying to get better. I'm just to kind of back up. We started with practice the words of Jesus, and basically have humility. We started internally, right? Jesus says the first will be last, and he uses an example of washing his feet. Huge self-sacrificing example of how we ought to encourage other people through our humility. Because it takes genuine humility to really encourage somebody. You can't, you can't genuinely encourage somebody with an arrogant attitude. Secondly, we look for those poorer than you, and that could mean poor in spirit, physically poor, mentally poor, because you want to bring those people up with you. Right. A lot of people are really good at finding people who are richer than they are, maybe spiritually richer, financially richer, mentally richer, and we cling on to those people. But I think we should strive to look for those who are poorer than us, because when we look for somebody who's poorer than us, we're looking for them to encourage. Those are the people we need to encourage and bring along. Then 2 weeks ago, it's been 2 weeks now, we looked at, putting our heart over our mind. And that was a fairly big episode. So obviously look for those poorer than you. That's an external process. Then putting your heart over your mind is an internal process. And I said over, kind of as a shock factor almost, I guess, in hindsight. I am going to go ahead and turn this fan down. I don't know if that helps, does anything at all, but it's a slab for me. So, but we talked about putting heart over our mind 2 weeks ago, and I really went into depth in that video. Kind of more. Some of that was, and to be perfectly honest, some of that's some of my feelings. Some of that's what I read in Scripture, where the Pharisees were all about what are we doing, robotic. And Jesus spent his whole ministry preaching against them, that there's so much more than just crossing all the T's and dotting all the I's. It has a lot with how you're doing it. So putting heart over mind is very important, because encouragement is all about the heart and very little about the mind. What I wrote here is encouragement is all heart, all mind, and 0% robotic. And therefore, you can't encourage without heart. Anyway, tonight, step 4, number 2 on my 1 through 5 list. I realized about 3 weeks ago that I really kind of didn't know how to brand this. I branded it 2 ways, of like a step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. but also as a countdown, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So it's step 4, point number 2. And that is commit to the lifestyle. All right. So we went internal first week, external, internal. Now we're going back to external, committing to the lifestyle of encouragement. And I have one word written under this week, and I'm just going to roll with this. And the word is Barnabas. In our first episode of the whole podcast, I don't know if it's first or second, but we did all about Barnabas, and we talked about Barnabas because Barnabas is an interesting character, and he is the character of encouragement. That's not even his name, right? His name is Joseph, if I'm not mistaken. I believe it's Joseph. You'll tell me. But he was so much about encouragement. He was so much that way that he was no longer called by his name. He was called the son of encouragement. I mean, how much more can you commit to a lifestyle of every person you're saying, man, I'm encouraging that person. I want that person to walk away being encouraged by me, than by people literally changing what they call you. I mean, if Barnabas is his nickname, right? I've got a nickname at work. It's not a bad nickname. We give people nicknames, but his nickname was Encourager, son of encouragement. Bugs, mosquitoes. That's how much of an encourager he was. He committed so fast and hard to the lifestyle of I'm going to be an encourager that they changed his name. And I think that's a nice story, right? We like to throw Barnabas out as the ideal model of encouragement. Problem, we don't really see him encourage a whole lot. You see him encourage in some ways, some of the ways his actions, which I think is important. But that leaves a huge gap. What are we missing by not getting conversations of Barnabas saying, hey, I love you. Hey, this encouragement XYZ. It's just kind of interesting to me that we missed that. But that leads me to 2 points, and I kind of wrap up with this. One, when you commit to the lifestyle of encouragement, your actions are what speak. Maybe your words are important, but your actions are what are speaking to people. Your actions are what's saying, that guy's an encourager. I want to be around him. There's something different about him, which is what Christ calls us to be. But second of all, that encouragement is our own path. That there's no set script. There's no set way to say, this is how you encourage somebody. It's our own path. How are you going to encourage somebody who is just lost a spouse? How are you going to encourage somebody who's just lost a parent or just lost a kid? Well, and those are extreme examples, obviously. But how are you going to encourage somebody who just lost a job? How are you going to encourage somebody who has, they're just having a bad week? Nothing bad has happened per se, but you can tell they're off. Every situation is different. And I think that's what's important. And when we commit to the lifestyle of an encouragement, when we eat, sleep, and breathe encouragement, it's second nature. And we know those things. I know what to say to a certain person when they do this. I know what to say to somebody who needs to hear this. So there's my dog there, and coming in at the end. But that's pretty much all I've got. My videos we just hit the 10-minute mark. That's pretty much what I do. It's about 10 minutes on the dot, usually. So we will be back Saturday. I'll be back here Saturday. We'll be back inside with, I guess it's the next episode of something different or perspective. Anyway, it's been a weird week. It's been a long week for me. So I'm not sure. I don't remember. I want to say it's something different. It's perspective. Anyway, we'll figure it out. Back here on Patreon on Saturday. And I guess I'll give you a sneak peek. I don't have it pulled up, so you have to give me a second. But of that episode, because I like doing what I'm doing here. But I really like those shows, Perspective and Something Different. Bearing Up at Night was the intention of kind of wrapping up the show on Thursdays. Well, we're off season, we're in between seasons right now. So this Saturday we are going to do Perspective. And, if you know anything about that show, I just kind of give you my perspective on things. And currently in the notes, it says July 4th. Well, great. What do I think about July 4th? You might know, you might not. You might be surprised. Am I less patriotic or more patriotic than you think? Doesn't matter. So there you go. That's all I've got for tonight. Man, we're knocking on 12 minutes. I appreciate you watching this all the way through. I appreciate all of our patrons. I appreciate Zach. Love you, brother. And looking forward to season 3. So thank you for watching.